Magandang araw muli sa inyong lahat. Welcome sa ating channel. At sa pagkakataon na ito ay ating aalamin ang inyong mga academic preparation dito sa subject na Introduction to Criminology. Okay, 25 katanungan ang susukat sa inyong academic preparation pagdating sa subject na ito. Ang mga kasagutan later on ay makikita nyo lamang dito sa ating description box. Okay, kung nakahanda na kayo, start na natin sa question number 1. What theory reveals that crime is a social and moral phenomenon which cannot be treated in check by the imposition of punishment but rather rehabilitation or the enforcement of individual measures? Letter A, classical theory. Letter B, positivist theory. Letter C, neoclassical theory. Or letter D, Demonological Theory. Question number 2. Economic gain, jealousy, covetousness, greediness, revenge, or gratify desire win a competition. These are all examples of blank in the commission of the crime. Letter A, desire. Letter B, opportunity. Letter C, motive. Or letter D, instrumentation. Number 3. Pedro was able to kill Juan because of the impulse or fit of passion based on mental attitudes. How will you classify the former as criminal? A, acute criminal. B, chronic criminal. C, neurotic criminal. Or letter D, aggressive criminal. Number 4. Abdul committed a crime and has been convicted with final judgment by competent court. Legally speaking, who is Abdul? A, respondent. B, suspect. C, accused. Or letter D, criminal. Number 5. Ambo Ligan committed a crime. At the time of his trial, he has been previously convicted by final judgment of another crime embraced in the same title of the Revised Penal Code. How will you classify Ambo as a criminal? Letter A, habitual delinquent. Letter B, recidivist. Letter C, reiteration. Or letter D, quasi-recidivist. Number 6. What theory maintains that criminal behavior was believed to be the result of evil spirits and demons, something of natural force and controls behavior? A, Demonological Theory. Letter B, Classical Theory. Letter C, Neoclassical Theory. Or letter D, Psychoanalytic Theory. 7. If Ana Marasigan lacks proper moral values due to defective socialization process, she is considered as blank. A, socialized delinquent. B, racketeers. C, passive inadequate criminals. Or letter D, active aggressive criminals. Number 8. Study of criminology which deals with the victimization of crime, which is considered by political society as any act or omission punishable by law. A, criminal. B, victimology. C, sociological effect of crime. Letter D, victimized offender. Number 9. This group of criminals controls all crimes in a given geographical area, or at least at all crimes of certain types. How will you classify this group of criminals? A, gang. B, organized criminals. B, organized crime. Or letter D, syndicate. Number 10. What theory reveals that crime is a social and moral phenomenon which cannot be treated in check by the imposition of punishment but rather rehabilitation or the enforcement of individual measures? A, classical theory. B. Positivist Theory, C. Neoclassical Theory, or letter D. Demonological Theory. 11. A person who is a graduate of the Degree of Criminology who has passed the examination for criminologist and is registered as such by the board. A. Police, B. Criminologist, C. Criminalist, or letter D. Law Enforcer. Number 12. This theory views victimology from the standpoint that the victims themselves may actually initiate, either passively or actively, the criminal act that ultimately leads to injury or death. Letter A. Routine activity theory. Letter B. Victim precipitation theory. Letter C. Lifestyle theory, or letter D. Deviant Place Theory. Number 13. What theory asserts that the original cause of crime cannot be known? No behavior is intrinsically criminal, and behavior becomes criminal only if it is labeled as such. A. Labeling theory. B. Neutralization theory. C. Subculture theory, or letter D. Differential association theory. 14. Psychological types of victims similar to the acquisitive type. These are characterized by virtue of wanting companionship or affection. A. Acquisitive or greedy. B. Tormentor. C. Lonesome, or letter D. Heartbroken. 15. This theory explains the rate of victimization through a set of situations that reflect the routines of typical individuals, such as, number 1, the availability of suitable targets, number 2, the absence of capable guardians, and number 3, the presence of motivated offenders. A. Routine activity theory. B. Victim precipitation theory. Letter C. Lifestyle theory, or letter D. Deviant Place Theory. 16. What are the social responses to the crime problem? A. Prevention. B. Rehabilitation. C. Control, or letter D. All of them. 17. Stages involved in any victimization during and immediately following the criminal event. A. Stage of impact and disorganization. B. Stage of recoil. C. Reorganization stage, or letter D. All of them. 18. Types of victims that referring to the value or act of wanting more, hence propel such individuals into victimization. A. Acquisitive or greedy. B. Tormentor. C. Lonesome, or letter D. Heartbroken. 19. This theory maintains that the lower class cannot socialize effectively as the middle class in what is considered appropriate middle class behavior. Thus, the lower class forms a subculture that rejects middle class values. A. Subculture theory. B. Rational choice theory. C. Routine activity theory, or letter D. Social disorganization theory. Question number 20. Blank states that social indicators present in a society such as a large number of single-parent household, high percentage of out-of-school youth, unemployment problems, and breakdown of social values are the causes of crimes. A. Social disorganization theory. B. Rational choice theory. C. Routine activity theory, or letter D. Social disorganization theory. 21. An act or omission in violation of a criminal law in each legal point. A. Crime. B. Law. C. Criminology, or letter D. Victim. 22. What theory states that greater exposure to dangerous places makes an individual more likely to become the victim of a crime? A. Routine activity theory. B. Victim precipitation theory. Letter C. Lifestyle theory, or letter D. Deviant Place Theory. 23. Stages of victimization, which describes the victim's adjustment to the victimization experience. A. Behavioral outcome. B. Victim precipitation. C. Lifestyle stage, or letter D. Deviant Place. 24. This is referring to a change which consists of the acts by a person that enables another person to perpetrate the crime. A. Desire. B. Opportunity. C. Motive, or letter D. Instrumentation. 25. Stages of victimization, which entails the degree and duration of personal and social disorganization following victimization. A. Post-impact stage. B. Stage of impact and disorganization. Letter C. Stage of recoil, or letter D. Reorganization stage. Alright, so natapos na natin ang ating isinagawang self-evaluation dito sa subject na Introduction to Criminology. Submit ang iyong mga kasagutan gamit ang link na makikita dito sa ating description box. Okay, so hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.